What's going on, guys? It's Hayden, and I'm bringing you the Week 7 recap for the Aqua division of the ISL Gen 6 Throwback. There are a few teams that clinched playoff spots this week, and a couple more teams that were fully eliminated, and a huge shakeup in the MVP and rest of the awards standings. So let's go ahead and jump into this first battle of the week. For the first battle of Week 7, we have two teams that need wins to stay in playoff contention, as we have the Paris Saint Gengar going up against the OKC Thunderous. For the Paris Saint Gengar, they brought Excadrill, Mega Tyranitar, Gengar, Caracosta, Virizion, Spiritomb, and then OKC Thunderous brought Zoroark, Azumarill, Mega Charizard X, Rotomo, Crobat, and Mew. So let's go ahead and dive into this battle. And with the 2-0 win over PSG, the OKC Thunderous continue their hunt for the playoffs. And unfortunately, that does mean Paris Saint Gengar are eliminated from the Gen 6 Championship. As for the knockouts, Mew had 4, Mega Charizard X and Rotomo both had 1. Then for PSG, Gengar picked up 3, and Caracosta picked up the lone other knockout. And moving on to battle number 2, we have two teams that are both 3-3, trying to lock up a playoff spot as they've come in as the 6th and 7th seeded teams. For the Litwicks, they brought Crocodile, Magnezone, Volcarona, Latias, Mega Sableye, and Girder. Then the Boston Blades brought Mega Manectric, Milotic, Sylveon, Trio, Skarmory, and Kyurem Black. Another Week 7 battle ends in a 2-0 victory, this time the Lafayette Litwicks over the Boston Blades. That means the Litwicks are one step closer to clinching a playoff spot, and the Boston Blades slide down just a little bit and are now on the fringe of making the playoffs. For the knockouts, Girder picked up 2, then Magnezone, Volcarona, and Latias, and Mega Sableye all picked up 1. Then for the Boston Blades, Kyurem Black picked up 3, and Doug Trio picked up 1. And in battle number 3, we have our 2 seed Dallas Victory Stars looking to stay in contention for the 1 seed and bye week for week 1 of the playoffs. And we have the Detroit Litleos, who are currently on the playoff bubble. The Victory Stars brought Aegislash, Reuniclus, Hydreigon, Aerodactyl, Mega Abomasnow, and Togekiss, while the Litleos brought Cragganol, Talonflame, Donphan, Rotom Wash, Mawile, and Mega Alakazam. for the third time in Week 7, we have a 2-0 win. This time, the Dallas Victory Stars over the Detroit Litlios. The Victory Stars were already locked for the playoffs, but this does push the Litlios on the brink. With the standings update later, we'll see how close they actually are to missing or making the playoffs. As for the knockouts, Aegislash and Mega Abomaso both picked up 3. Then for the Litlios, MyWow also picked up 3. Then Donphan picked up 1. In battle number 4, we have the Wales Warlords picking up a 3-0 win over the Portland Lechonks. This does end the Portland Lechonks' comeback after they started 0-4. They picked up back-to-back wins, but unfortunately this 5th loss does eliminate them from playoff contention. As for the Wales Warlords, this brings them one step closer to clinching a playoff spot. And as for the knockouts, Mega Garchomp picked up 3, Heatran 2, and Slurpuff 1. Then for the Lechonks, Shaman Sky, Garchomp, and Espeon all picked up 1 apiece. And moving on to battle number 5, we have the Wi-Fi Worry Seeds losing 5-0 to my Chicago White Squawks as we continue our undefeated season. The 5-0 is very misleading as Landorus T came in and did sweep up in the end, but the Worry Seeds did set up a layer of rocks and 3 layers of spikes, which would have knocked out, I believe, 3 out of my remaining 5 Mons, not including Landorus, of course. So it was very, very close. Could have gone either way if Landorus did get knocked out in the end. But as for knockouts, for the Worry Seeds, Deoxys Speed picked up 1. Then for my White Squawks, Landorus T picked up 5. Then Tyrantrum picked up the lone other knockout. And for our final result of Week 7, we had another forfeit. This time the Utah Wees taking the forfeit win over the Ecruteak City Boomers. This does give the Utah Wees a playoff spot, so we will be seeing them in the postseason. As for the Boomers, they are now officially eliminated. And through 7 weeks of action, here are our standings. In the 1 seed and clinched a bye for the playoffs are my Chicago White Squawks at 7-0 plus 27. We also have 3 other teams that have clinched a playoff spot, and the 2 seed Dallas Victory Stars, who basically have the 2 seed locked up. The 3 seed Utah Wees at 5-2 plus 6, and the 4 seed Wi-Fi Worry Seeds. Then we have 5 teams in contention for the last 3 playoff spots, starting with the 5 seed Wales Warlords at 4-3 plus 4, 6 seed Lafayette Litwicks at 4-3 plus 1, and the 7 seed Boston Blades at 3-4, 0 differential to round out our current playoff teams. Then the 2 teams on the outside looking in right now are the 8 seed OKC Thunderous at 3-4 minus 6, and the 9 seed Detroit Litlios at 2-5 minus 5. And here is our Week 8 schedule, and here are the key matchups to look forward to. Starting out with 8 seed OKC Thunderous playing the 5 seed Wales Warlords. The Thunderous need a win plus a Boston Blades loss to clinch a playoff spot. As for the Wales Warlords, they need a win or anything or a loss that is 4-0 or better for them. As for our next game, it is the 6th seed Lafayette Litwicks playing against the 12 seed Parasect Gengar. Then we have the 9 seed Detroit Litlios playing the 11 seed Ecruteak City Boomers. The Litlios need a win, plus a Boston Blades loss, plus an OKC Thunderous loss, and then they have to have a better differential than the Boston Blades when all said is done. And then As for the Boomers, they are already eliminated. Our next game is between the 3 seed Utah Wees and the 4 seed Wi-Fi Worry Seeds. Both of these teams have already clinched. Our next game is the 7 seed Boston Blades playing the 1 seed Chicago White Squawks. The Boston Blades need a win to clinch. And I have already clinched the 1 seed. Then our last battle of the week is the 2 seed Dallas Victory Stars. Basically clinched the 2 seed. It would need a miracle for the Utah Wees to catch them in 1 week, even with the huge win. Going up against the 10 seed Portland the Chonks, so not much there. So we have 3 battles this week with heavy playoff implications, and I will be bringing the full battles for all 3 of those games up front next week. So please look forward to that. And we have a new leader after Mega Scizor has claimed the top spot for I believe 5 weeks now for the RCS Award in Aegislash of the Dallas Victory Stars, currently at 10-1. And then Mega Scizor does drop to just number 2 at 9-2 for the Wi-Fi Worry Seeds. Keeping steady for the Lugia Award, we have Amoongus of the Detroit Litleos pretty much has it locked up as they have 31 hits taken. And then Volcarona of the Lafayette Litwicks has jumped back into 2nd place with 23. And on to our Mew Award, we still have Landorus T of My Chicago White Squawks leading the way at 13, with Fortress still in 2nd of Paris St. Gengar at 12, but we have several Mons now who are either tied with Fortress at 12 or right there at 11 and 10, so it should come down to this last week of who wins the best support Mon of the ISL. Finally, we have the Cosmog Award for Best Low Tier Mon. My Mega Houndoom of the Chicago White Squawks is still in the lead, has been since week 1 at 6-0. And Nidoqueen of the Dallas Victory Stars is back up in 2nd at 6-5. There are actually several Mons tied with 6 knockouts, but a lot of them have 6 or 7 deaths, so it should come down to this final week of who wins the Cosmog Award. And that is going to do it for week 7 of the Aqua division of the ISL Gen 6 Throwback season. Please let me know what 3 teams out of the 5 still fighting for playoff spots will make it. And let me know your predictions for the all ISL teams, which will be revealed during next week's recap. And as always, thanks for watching.